All right, man, we're on the show. This is it. Travis, what show are we on?
I don't. What is your show called?
Arm Crossfire.
All right, so we are at Arm Crossfire. That's a weird name. It is live on Travis Bagent Unfiltered. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
First of all, I got to tell you a story before we get started here. Maybe you guys can tell me if I was out of control or if I was out of hand or not. So today I go to Shepherd University to buy tickets to the Bloomsburg football game this Saturday, right? My son plays football Division II. No big deal. Every time I buy the tickets to this football game, it's $10, right? $10 a game. And I got to buy like eight, 9 tickets every week, right? Because I got all these people coming. So Black Ice is coming. You think you could beat Black Ice, Chris?
Hell yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to be hanging with Black Ice this weekend. He's coming to the game in Bloomsburg. He's bringing a couple people. So I went to buy these tickets, and I went to the Bloomsburg desk. The tickets at Bloomsburg are $30, not $10. So wow. I tell the lady on the phone, I'm like, what the fuck is y'all doing? She said, well, we feel like we give, a little better game environment than other people. And, we've really kind of upgraded the facilities around here. So that's just what we charge. And we get, we don't fill the stands, but, we're totally comfortable with what we're getting and everything's great. So I'm like, 8, 9. So I got 9 tickets, $270 when usually it would have been, $80. So I proceeded to I was about to go completely crazy. My wife grabs me on the back. She's like, dude, it's none of your business what they charge. Stop being a douchebag. So I hung the phone up. So I was just wondering what you guys thought about that. Chris, what do you think about that shit, man?
Well, it sounds kind of scandalous, right? Because you can charge what you want, but that seems a little bit misleading, right? To say one thing and then.
Well, they didn't say nothing. It's just not normal, right? Every other school we go to, it's $10.
Yeah, and that's a 300% markup, right? That's a big jump. It's not like a couple bucks.
I was astonished by it.
Yeah.
Ryan, have you ever paid $30 to go to a football game?
No, I have not.
Yeah, it's well, I guess you guys are up there. I forgot where you guys are from. So,
I mean, but let's face it, it costs a lot of money to go see. University. Like, how much does it cost to go see Penn State, to go see UCLA?
Oh, yeah.
To go see
those tickets are selling for $110 for the cheap seats.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
But, the fact is, we have to establish that there's a small difference between Division II and Division. But here's the thing, too. That's crazy, too, because I can go to West Virginia University, watch great football, right? Pay $40 for a ticket. If I go to Penn State or Ohio State, because they're so superior, now I got to pay $100 just to get in the parking lot.
Yeah. Well, right. Division I too, right? So,
what are you trying? Are you trying to say that if it's Division I, they got the right to charge a little bit more?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying usually the higher level you go in terms of talent, and the more revenue they make, the more you're going to pay. It's just like the NFL. You go to see the Patriots play, you're going to pay a hell of a lot more than you will to go see football, fucking NCAA, and NCAA, you're going to pay a hell of a lot to go see than to see a high school game, right? I mean, it's just
right. And I guess you're saying too, it's about how the ticket holder values their brand, right? Like,
well, that comes into play as well, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and to be honest, sometimes you can go to a high school game and get a better vibe, a better game, and see a better game than if you go see the Jets and the Miami Dolphins play, right? Let's face it, but it depends. It's all about the brand too, and right. Big names and sponsors and all that shit. There's a lot of things that come into play.
Of course. I get you.
So are you relating this back to something that we've been talking about?
So I was wondering then, if there was an arm wrestling guy that had a bigger fucking brand, right? Doesn't he have a fucking right to charge whatever the fuck he wants to?
You 1,000%. You're absolutely right. Just like the vendors have a right to charge. My issue with your issue today is they showed one thing and then presented another. so you were kind of off balance. But if I say to you, Travis, I got a pencil I want to sell you and it's $1,200, it's my right to ask, and it's your right to say yes or go fuck yourself. Like, everyone has a right to do whatever they want.
Yeah.
My duty is just to voice my opinion.
Yeah. Well, let's not say 1,200. What's the average markup of a pencil?
I don't know.
10. Let's just say the pencil's 10 cents.
Okay.
If I charge 15 cents, the only thing that I'm saying is if I got this fucking weasel here beside me while I'm trying to make every sale, I just every once in a while I might flip the fuck out and be like, yo, mind your fucking business. If you don't want to buy the pencil, take your ass the fuck out of here. And this guy's fully aware that he can buy 10-cent pencils up the street. But he would much rather pay 15 cents and get it from me and laugh a little bit while he's getting it. That's the only, I'm wondering,
You have, arm wrestling has two entities and always will have two entities. You have the high-end promoter that is looking to make money / exploit, which is their God-given right. And then you have...
Oh, hold up. How about the word, because I think you say these things, all right? But sometimes I don't know if you're exactly ready to defend them. So
I always are.
Tell me exactly how Robert Drank, Steve Kaplan, I don't know if I should not be in that category.
Okay.
Right? But all I want to know is when you say exploit, I mean, let's be completely fucking honest. If their dreams came true, arm wrestling for us, for the arm wrestler, would be better than it was before. So I think exploitation would be everything stays the same and they flourish and no one else does.
Sure. When I say exploit, I don't. Robert Drank and Kaplan are a little bit of an anomaly. I believe Robert Drank honestly did really take a liking to arm wrestling, and I believe he wanted to bring it somewhere. I think at one point he realized it wasn't going to happen, and he was losing too much money, and he cut his losses. But I believe Drank's motive was genuine. I believe he wanted to build something for arm wrestlers. I believe that 100%.
Right, but in general, they're the same model of exploitation But I mean, but here's the thing: can you grow under your terms? Can you grow arm wrestling, receive a profit, make it better, and not have the word exploitation in the scenario?
Yes. Arm wrestling's like a fucking, it's organic. It will grow or it won't. People believing or selling that arm wrestling will be a big sport and everyone will make money is a fallacy, only because I got news for you, and you know this, arm wrestling is not a fucking spectator sport, which means any promoter or any organization that pulls more, even a high-end arm wrestler, anyone that pulls money out of arm wrestling pulls it from the pockets of other arm wrestlers, pulls it from the community of arm wrestlers. Okay, it's like a Girl Scout, a girl selling Girl Scout cookies. Most of them, she sells it to her friends and family because they feel loyal, so it's all pulling out of the same community. Arm wrestling's never going to become what people want it to become, and that's fine. It doesn't have to be. If you love arm wrestling, we have tournaments, we have leagues, we have practices, we have teams. It's the most awesome sport in the world. And for the record, I don't have a problem with you charging $100 per person, or I know it's not per entry, because Mike Gould's done it in the past. It's the $100 to win a grand prize of $200. For me, the math, you're looking to make money. You're not looking to make a little bit of money. You're not looking to maybe break even. And you said that. I watched your video that night, and that's your prerogative. And I know you. And everyone that knows you knows you're not looking to break even in any means. But I believe there's a fine line of. I think there's some, like you said, you're in it to profit.
Uh-oh. Travis, are you still there?
I still seem like I'm good. I think.
Well, as soon as Gobby. Gobby, you still there?
But it's my job
to
throw in my 2 cents, and people can either believe me but I'm all about presenting it, being accountable. And like I said, if I'm totally wrong and totally out of my mind, then who cares? And if there's some truth to what I say, and it bothers certain people, maybe they need to look at that under a magnifying glass.
Well, I mean, here's the thing about. Well, that's funny, right? Because, it does bother the shit out of me. It's crazy. And the reason is because I do not understand how in the world you can where do you see that there's a lot of money being made? Right.
Okay.
So I just got some numbers from what's the guy in Mississippi? Great guy, Hancock, Sean Hancock, or is that his name?
Yeah.
Right. So he calls me and he wants me to come to Mississippi to arm wrestle. Says he's getting 220 entries averaging, and he's charging $40 an entry fee. Right? So I'm like, my goodness. Like, well, what are you doing with the money, right? So
well, look at his trophies. The trophies are expensive. He must have $80 trophies or something like that. Like,
yeah, I don't know. I don't know, right? So he offers me some money to come and arm wrestle. So then he runs the whole card down, and then he tells me some of the things that he's done and some of the things he's done in the past. And so this guy is taking the money from the arm wrestler and using it to pay for me to come there and entertain him. Right?
Which in turn, I did the same in 2009, which in turn will optimistically bring more people to his venue. I did the same with you. I used you back in 2009 to bring in more people to my tournament, and it worked, right? I understand.
Yeah, no doubt about it, right? It's a simple model,
Yeah,
right?
it is.
Like that's what we're all doing, right? So the problem is that I guess that I'm not allowed to pay myself to come to these tournaments. It's totally okay for you to take money out of the arm wrestlers, and this is just your model, right? This is where we're talking about the exploitation and the fact that we must draw from the arm wrestlers, take the blood from there in order to give it to someone, right? So the fact of the matter is that I got a call from Red Deer and I got a call from Hancock, and I've got I must be getting terrible because I'm getting these matches with left-handed guys. I could never get a match for the last 15 years. Now, shit, my neighbor wants to pull me for $12. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. So, which is great, right? But I find now that these people have $2,500. They have airfare, hotel. They're not giving any money away. Like that grand prize, $200 you was talking about, that's per hand, right? So unlike you, most people are, they compete both hands, right? Or at least I shouldn't say most people. I do. So I feel like everyone does, right? And the fact that $100 entry fee is really a $50 entry fee. It's just making you pull at least two hands, right? And the fact that Sean told me that he's really only getting about 100 people. So 1.5 of his people, 75% of his people are pulling more than two classes.
Yeah.
Which is, Jesus goodness, they done got them up to 120, right?
Yeah.
Now, they don't get a T-shirt with the entry. They don't have the ability to pull multiple classes, any of that stuff. So I can only charge, like, if you only are going to serve 10 fucking servings of ice cream a day, but you have to make $300, you have to charge a certain amount of money for the ice cream if you know that's how many customers you're getting. My model is not new to me. It's for the last 4 years. Someone else has picked the destinations, meaning I'm already getting paid to be there. So I'm in Dallas on December 7th, not because I want to be. It's because Supercross is there, right? So then my tournaments have to be in that location. They have to be any time that's not the best time, which would be a Saturday afternoon. So I've got to deviate that to the Friday night, a Saturday night, or a Sunday, which with all of that information, I'm going to get 25 guys. So it's going to cost me $2,500 to keep arm wrestling going, and I'm giving away $1,700. So if my model stays great, then I'll make $500. That's before I pay any ref. Sometimes I get the ref for $50, sometimes $100. I don't think the ref's that important of a guy, right? He's usually a fucking dork. You know what I mean? So
your model's not terrible, but in your model, the promoter, you make more money than the number one arm wrestler that shows up, or all of the arm wrestlers combined.
Well, not true. Like Greg Gray was able to win the table and $400, and he sold the table for $400, so he made $800. I'll be very surprised if I ran all the numbers if I made $800 in San Antonio.
If you're honest with me, I'm willing to bet that you will make more than $800, and I'm willing to bet on it.
But will I lose? Will I lose or break even on any of those events because I'm giving away the $1,700? Because I went and hung out with Artem once, and there was only 7 guys showed up.
I don't know what's there's never been a scenario in the history of man or arm wrestling where Travis Bagent showed up and lost money. Okay. Now let me tell you my model. Okay, and I respect that.
Right.
Please don't think that I don't understand where you're coming from or don't understand. My model is
no. My biggest problem with you is that you talk and the people who listen, they don't understand. Right? No. They don't understand how to how to defend what you're saying, so they just accept it. Like, oh my God, it is the worst crime in the world, as opposed to they could go to the tournament right down the street and pay more and have zero. And I'm going to tell you what you get when there's a couple $100 involved. You get the respect for winning. You cannot, Matt Mass can go to Mississippi, lose to 500 people, but because he didn't lose any money, any purse, it's not as personal, and people will forget about it.
And the other thing with your NAL model is it's a small scale. You draw a little bit of money, a little bit of local people come, but that model will never build a sport, right? It basically gives the locals something. They get to meet you, have fun with you, and you pocket a little bit of money. In 2009, I ran a tournament, and I believe it was my model. My model is you got paid, you came over. Because you came down, you brought people out of the woodwork. Top 15 guys got cash. We ran 3 tables. You got paid. Everyone got paid, and the promoter, me, broke even. And that for me was a huge success. A promoter is okay if he makes a little bit of money. If he makes a couple of days' wage, it's all good. When a promoter needs to make more than the accumulative or the arm wrestling community that shows up at a whole, the promoter should never be the biggest winner out of a tournament financially. Break even, make a little bit of a profit. Nothing wrong with making a little bit of a profit. Taking home the chunk of the revenue is my issue. Arm wrestlers should be the big winner. Arm wrestlers should be the big winner. They're the ones paying in. They're the ones that should be getting paid out. The promoter should be happy with a couple $100 is flight paid, and the peace of knowing he put on a hell of an event that everyone was happy about. That's my
right model. Now this is a prime example. You just said something, right? And 80% of our community doesn't want to say that is the most fucking retarded thing that they've ever fucking heard in the history of the world. I mean, that would be the first and only fucking business model in the history of fucking mankind that would use that approach.
Let me just
arm wrestling. Can we get an outside fucking Ryan?
Yeah.
Can you tell me another fucking business where the fucking guy that does all the work, all the guarantee, should make the least amount of money?
Okay.
Everyone involved.
No,
I want to hear Ryan's opinion.
All right, Ryan.
What am I answering here? What question am I answering?
Are these his beliefs, or are these the beliefs of Crossfire? Jesus fucking Christ!
Arm wrestling.
What are you asking me? Because I know that these, man, I gotta agree with Travis on this.
No. I know.
I mean, well, here's the thing right here. The fact is, I am not mad at you anymore because you are fucking nuts. We are on so fucking far into the spectrum that there's no way.
I agree.
There's no way we can ever come to terms at this thing right here. Like,
and you know why? And you know why? Let me tell you why. Because fundamentally, we disagree on one thing, and that is arm wrestling is not a fucking business. It is not a business. You trying to make arm wrestling a business is why you have a scandalous reputation. Arm wrestling is not a fucking business. It never will be a business.
But there's no doubt that it is definitely a business for me.
Oh, right? For you,
take away any. And here's the thing: the scandalous activity is hilarious, right? It is hilarious that I make a certain amount of money for rocking the microphone, and then I make a certain amount of money for being the best arm wrestler in the world. And then I make this fucking piddly fucking crumbs down here at the bottom. And that's running these arm wrestling tournaments, right? Like, I would never be able to just run tournaments, ever. But because of those other two things, I get to get my I'm already in the city, so I add this other element. It's so funny that the least profitable version is the one that draws all the scandal. No one has ever said, man, Travis came over, took some money from me, and he didn't rock the mic, right?
Because
right?
Because in your first scenario, you draw from you're drawing money from the promoter. In the second scenario, you're drawing money from the promoter. In your third scenario, you're drawing money from the amateur and novice arm wrestlers of the world.
But it's okay for the promoter to do, like somebody like you, it's okay to take $3,000 from the arm wrestling community, give it to me, right? And then you break even. But it's not okay for me to take out the middleman, which would be you, come to there, run the tournament, do all the work that you did, do all the stuff that I would have done for you if you would have hired me, take the $3,000 again from the athletes and just leave out the you, which would be the guy that would be the hardest guy in the world to find. You're the hardest guy in the world to find, the guy that's going to raise $5,000, give it all to me, and then only make $100.
Well, I didn't give it all to you. We made money off seminar. You were paid off your seminar.
No doubt about it. Yeah, once again, you're telling me that you took the money from the arm wrestler.
No.
We had the same amount of money at the very end of the day, whether you were there or not. Right?
No, I took in entry fee that all went out to the arm wrestlers. All went out to the arm wrestlers. The top 15 got cash. You were fully paid by your seminar fees.
Right.
I got nothing. You won. They won.
Right. So if I do that seminar without you, I'm a user and abuser. But because you invited me and they paid you and you paid me, it's completely okay.
No, and at the time I was okay with it. Now, I was offered to do a seminar with Drellick and Herman last year or this year. I wouldn't do it. I don't feel comfortable having knowledge.
Well, you shouldn't. I mean, yeah, well, you shouldn't. You're not good enough to charge anybody anything, right? And I mean that respectfully because I blush. I am amazed. I have done 13 of these $500 days, and every day before it starts, I look at the guy and I'm like, "My man, are you sure that you want to do this?" And they're like, "Hell yeah, man! I got goosebumps right now being around the champ." Right? The fact is, Chris, if that doesn't happen to you, you can't be fucking giving seminars, all right? You can't do it.
Well, I agree. I'm not the number one arm wrestler or even top 10 you want to talk to about arm wrestling technique or running a seminar. But the reality is, the fact of the matter is, I was offered it to pay for my travel and everything was going to be paid off.
Well, you were getting paid if you would bring the show, right?
Yeah, the show
exactly.
and a seminar and charge. I think he was charging $25 per person, per child, per amateur to listen to me talk about arm wrestling, and I refused because, I don't believe in making a profit out of arm wrestling, especially off the people that are trying.
You're the only person that believes that, except for the fucking retards that would listen to that and say, you know what? That fucking makes great sense right there.
Dude,
no one should profit. It's just like saying no one should profit from selling cars. And then you wonder why there ain't no fucking cars for sale, right? Like, you're the only person that can ever fucking say that.
This isn't plumbing. This isn't auto sales. It's not plumbing. For me, it's a passion. And I like to help people. And
yeah, but what is the passion? Is the passion telling everyone what's wrong with it, or is the passion growing it? What does Chris Gobby do to grow arm wrestling? Or does Chris Gobby talk about how horrid every model is? Except for the fucking Crispy model that hasn't never done anything for us in the whole world.
Chris Gobby's run a practice for 10 years out of his living room. 15, 16 guys. I've given my time. I've given my money. I've supported. Now I don't do much, but I voice my opinion on things I don't think are right. And the biggest evil on that is it disrupts certain things. Like, what do you want? Like, if I'm totally wrong, it's no big deal. If I'm right and it disrupts somebody, then they got shit they got to check in.
Where's the model that we should jump? If we are North American arm wrestlers, you want to get into the business of competing, I want to know from you two things. Which organization should you send the amateurs to? And what route should these amateurs take before they are
I would tell them to ignore Wall, UAL. Well, UAL's not. I would tell them to ignore pro leagues like yourself and Wall, and I would tell them to embrace Joshua Grant, John Brown, these people that are making these awesome
fucking faggots. Jesus
Michigan State.
Christ.
Yeah.
You're one of them follow the Democrats?
Dude, I don't care his political views. He runs awesome tournaments and does and everything goes back to the pullers. Like the guy loves arm wrestling. You don't love arm wrestling. He loves arm wrestling.
Man, what is wrong with you? That is a very, very horrible statement and very inaccurate.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yes, I would say that Josh loves like 15 things. I'm incapable. I'm too selfish to have that many fucking things that I love. I love like 3 things.
Travis Bagent, his kids, and his wife.
And arm wrestling.
Ah.
Yeah, that's my top 4. Yeah, that's my top 4.
You love making money from arm wrestling. It's different than
the fact of the matter is that I'm really fucking good at it. Really good at it. Every aspect of it. I'm really, really good at just being a straight up ambassador, right? Like,
you know what?
I mean, so inviting. Like, if you're a new arm wrestler, you're the luckiest dude in the world if you stumble across me.
Actually, you bring up a good point. I'm kind of full of shit because I always say that I'm never going to market or make money off arm wrestling. And in the process today, I was actually trying to make something where I can mass market off the arm wrestlers. And what it is it's basically a strap that goes around your wallet like this, so that when Travis Bagent comes to your state or your country, it protects your wallet. $20 a pop, and it guarantees that when Travis comes, he can't open that wallet. Right. I'm just saying.
I got you. Yeah, I'm just amazed. I am absolutely amazed at the biggest argument for you is that no one should. So the fact is that the arm wrestlers, I don't know what to tell them. Like, I don't know. I mean, because nobody flies to me. I always fly to them, right? Like, the model's pretty cool. Like, Chris is not obligated to ever get on an airplane. I will come close to you. You rope mosey on down, grab that NAL T-shirt. You know, I mean, the entry fees. I mean, I guess that a guy like you, would you telling me that you would just come pull just the left-hand novice or the left-hand lightweight class?
My right arm's viable. My right arm.
Right, yeah. So the fact is you wouldn't even know about it. You would be most likely at a little local tournament with 25 guys. A guy like Chris Gobby would give me $100, grab his medium T-shirt, and then he would be enrolled in the right hand 176s, the left hand 176s, and the left hand 209s. And then, you know, when it was all said and done, I don't know if he would have.
Chris Gobby post 2010 wouldn't compete at your tournament. Like, I don't allow myself to get robbed like that. Like, I don't dish out $1,500.
When was the last tournament that you were in?
Well, I went to 3-4 Vermont State's Bill Sinks events. Michigan State was the last big one last year, which I thought was fucking awesome. Steve Pettis is another Josh Grant.
You came to the Michigan State. What did you compete in?
76 right left. And a Masters, I believe I competed in Masters 198 right and left as well.
All right, so that's 4 weight classes. Did you buy a T-shirt?
I did not.
All right, and how much money did you spend?
Well, it's $80 American.
How much?
$80, $20 a class, $80 American.
Oh, perfect. So yeah, so you would have got your T-shirt with me, and you could have did the same thing, and it would have cost you extra $20. So, right. So the fact of the matter is that even though I'm absolutely raping, robbing them,
no,
right, it's only $20. Right, and what did you win?
Well, there's differences. Number one, that's a prestigious tournament with 25 people per class.
What did you win?
Number two,
what did you win?
The nicest trophy I've ever seen in the Golden Gorilla.
Right, and what was it? Like first, second, third? What place did you
get? First left, third right, or second right, first left.
Yeah. I got you. So if you'd have came to my tournament, you would have made $100, right? And well, you wouldn't have got your Golden Globe tournament.
I wouldn't have pulled with the same caliber of pullers.
Well, yeah, but also too, you wouldn't have traveled as far either, right? You would have waited until I was way up there, right? Michigan's a good trip, right? Yeah, I mean nobody would do that. I got you. Yeah.
So is there?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. You opened it up with you can't make any money, so yeah, I'm fucked. I'm fucked. My whole argument is
you guys are so far on opposite sides of this. I think that we're never going to get it resolved. But
And
I think what would be really cool is if someone got a whole bunch of money, and then no matter what percentage they decide to give away, that it made arm wrestlers in their respective weight classes, it made them more than, you know, a couple $100. Like, that would be a great thing. I could care less. Like, Ryan, if there's a tournament 3 times a year that you can make $3,500 each time, and it has the prestige to offer you a high placement in the North American rankings, I wouldn't care if someone was profiting $1 million. I wouldn't. I wouldn't even worry. I wouldn't even know, or I would never inquire.
Yeah, I wouldn't care either if I could make a few $1,000 for coming out in arm wrestling.
Yeah, right. Because I don't know any tournaments right now. Like where do you go to put your entry fee in and take out more than you paid if you win?
Red Deer.
Now, what is that? What's going to happen at Red Deer if you're just a regular puller?
Nothing. I think you get a trophy. You pay an entry fee, you win a trophy. But,
right, so only if you're
Red Deer, you know why Red Deer is going to be busy.
So the only people that are giving the Red Deer people money will not be receiving any money back.
Yep.
Gotcha. Well, we must get this guy on TV, and Chris must crucify this motherfucker. How fucking dare him? Chris, give it to us right now. Tell us why he's such a douchebag.
I'm all about balance, man. One person should not profit exponentially off others.
Maybe it's because this guy is giving all of the profits to charity. He will not take a dime off this tournament. So Jeff Frank,
I respect that.
Yeah, I mean, he's put together that big event.
Well, yeah, but he's going to take the money from the arm wrestlers to give to charity.
Yeah, he is going to take some money from the arm wrestlers, I think, to give to charity. And I think he kind of has to. I mean, he's putting out so much money to bring in the marquee names. I mean, none of us are coming for free.
There's a lot of people coming.
There's a lot. Where's there been a better gathering of arm wrestlers outside of when WAL had all the regionals in the one weekend?
Yeah. I hate to toot my own horn, but beep, beep. I ran that shit back in the day, those regionals. Yeah, that thing, dude, I saw those posters. I couldn't believe. 2 things popped in my head. Where the fuck is this guy getting all this money? Chris Gobby's going to go crazy with an internal Mueller report investigation. And second of all,
what are you going to do when you lose that match and Ryan Espy wins and somehow makes less money than Travis Bagent?
Yeah, well, that's guaranteed because the money that I'm getting from him as opposed to what he told you guys I was getting is unbelievable.
Well, you're welcome, by the way.
Hey, listen. After you came to Moldova, I knew you would come through. One of my pet peeves in life is that I've hired hundreds of arm wrestlers, yet none of them have ever hired me to do anything, right? So I knew that once I hooked you up, I'd get that back tenfold. So, but here's another thing I thought about is how the fuck am I going to get in Canada? I got to get a work visa.
Oh, no, you don't.
Well, I couldn't get in, and so I couldn't pull Crazy George 16 months ago. They wouldn't let me over the border.
Did you tell them you were coming here to make money?
Well, I showed them the arm wrestling tournament, and I had my big face here like this, and I thought it would be easy to get in, but yeah, it didn't work. So they told me that if I apply for a work visa, it'll be the easiest way to get in.
Well, you better get on that.
What's
the smug look Chris got on his face? You got something on your mind there, Chris?
The customs people might be just be worried about the tax, the tax consequences if you make that much money in their country.
Really, if I had tax trouble, would that prevent me from getting into Canada?
No, I'm just saying.
Because if so, you might as well take me off of that flyer right now.
Hey,
I am fucked. I am fucking up to here.
I've been invited to that tournament. You can catch up.
Federal problem. Woo! Holy shit!
Like I said, I
Hey,
was
so
invited to that tournament. I might be there.
let's talk about the World Championships.
Let's talk about that.
Did we see another Thunder Bay 1998 World Championships or not?
No,
That's a good question. Oh,
no. I think what are you talking about? That it was small?
I don't know. Not small. All I want to know is, are there some world champions running around with their chest all high that know goddamn well the top 5 guys wasn't there?
Well, you're going to take Cody Merritt, for example. I think the guys were there, but you got Saban.
Well, you know, right, Ryan? If anyone could tell us, that guy that he beat in the finals, who is that guy, and what place did he get last year?
I don't remember him.
Well, that's not a good sign.
But you got Levon, you got Saban, and you got Georgie. So Levon's out at the top 8. Saban and Georgie are both booted for doping.
Yep.
So
all we need to know is the guy that Cody beat, did he finish 13th last year, or did he finish 5th?
I don't know.
Travis makes a good argument, but then again, Jeff Hale finished 5th, and Talbot didn't even finish 6th or 7th. So
Talbot was 6th.
There were some classes that were super talented, but like when you leave out Sweden, Finland, and Poland, let's face it, you're leaving out some talent.
I think if you wanted
but you know what though? If I was gonna pick 3 countries that I was scared of, it wouldn't be them 3.
If you were if you were a lightweight or a woman, it would.
Well, here's the thing to think about. Okay, so I'm with you. Cody Merritt did something that if the circumstances were what they are, then he just did something remarkable. Which means that there's only 3 of us in the modern era that have won the Open Championships.
Yeah, that's right.
Me, Cody, Dave, and you can throw Cobra in there if you want in the 2003.
Ron Bath?
Ron Bath didn't win the Open. I think Ron Bath won the Masters in
2006 Manchester.
Are you talking about all of the Open medals in the modern era?
In the modern era, we've only had.
When does the modern era start? Because I won it in 2002
you're not
and
American.
3.
You're not American.
Oh, you're talking about Americans.
Yes, Americans. And so that year that you won in 2003, you also won either in 04 or 02.
2.
Yeah, so it was a back-to-back. And then, so we had me, Dave Chafee, Cobra Rhodes also won. He didn't win in 2003, but he won in 2000, and it was pretty awesome down there in Virginia Beach. But 2000 was only 2 years after the Thunder Bay, fiasco and the breakup. So, to me, the best worlds until 2003 was in 99 when it was still with the other federation. And Cobra's over there in Russia, and Dan Victor wins. So we got Dan Victor, Travis Bagent, Dave Chafee, Cobra Rhodes, and now we've had a couple second place guys, and then maybe Ron Bath, I guess, in 2006 in Manchester, I guess you're trying to say. Which is a possibility, but I don't think that's the truth, but we'll see if that's true. And then you move on to Cody Merritt. So that's a pretty awesome list for the past 20 years to be involved in there. So I didn't really want to let Cody in. I'm not going to lie. So I was hoping that it was a shit show and there really wasn't anyone there. But when I see Paul Talbot and Jeff Hale, I'm like, holy shit. Because I grabbed Paul Talbot 3 weeks ago. Woo! I thought he was going to do really fucking good. I thought he was going to do good.
And in that class, they think there's a lot of people that say the top 6 was really good based on who was there.
And I would have bet the house that Talbot would have finished on the podium. That's crazy that he didn't even finish on the podium.
Yeah, I was telling Ryan Bowen, I was trying to express to Ryan Bowen and to Paul Talbot that you have to be super sharp every single match from a timing standpoint. Because unlike the United States or unlike North America, if those guys get caught up, the guy isn't necessarily going to fucking be stronger than them. Right? Yeah. Like you could slip, but over there, when you're under 200 pounds, you have to be terrified, like fucking in the, you have to be in the other room, lights out, quiet as a church mouse with that fucking knife. And you have to wait until this motherfucker walks in front of you because you can't take the chance on not killing this motherfucker with one blow. And it has to be like that. And Paul Talbot is just strong enough, in my opinion, to think that he was going to win after the first 2 seconds and then not realizing until 12 seconds that he was in the fight of his life. And I haven't seen any matches, so I really don't know how it happened. But you have to be really scared, and you have to know that everyone's stronger than you, so you have to dispose of them in a very deceptive and evil manner.
I have a theory, and I want you to confirm or deny this theory. In 2009 or 10, Brent Rockers in the United States beat Steve Rao up and down the table. Now, Brent Rockers is a balanced, versatile puller at the time. Steve Rao was a one-dimensional hooker. They go to Worlds. Brent Rockers finishes like 12th. Steve Rao goes to the finals and beats Ruslan and then loses to Rustam, I believe, and got silver. With the theory that if you go to Worlds and you're hand heavy and you don't have an arm or a hook, you're fucked.
Well, you could be. Here's the thing. You cannot go over there with the hook and expect to win, right? But you can get in the top 3 with the hook. But you must be able to sucker punch and fucking run from the greatest hooker ever in order to win.
Okay.
Yeah. So to me, in my opinion, Rob Vigent can win, right? But Todd Hutchins can go further in the tournament.
That's a real good.
It's interesting.
And it's the same with me, right? There's a lot of super heavyweights that we can send over there if we only got a place. Jerry Catterett is a great guy that he will place over there, right? If you're not real fucking good, he's going to beat you, right? However, if you want to win the motherfucker and only win or we all die, then they're sending me, right? That's just the way it is. So I could also get 12th place, right? Or I could win this whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. Like, I'm telling you, Ryan Bowen is setting himself up if he's not fucking careful.
Here's a question for you.
Killed. He's going to get killed if he's not very careful.
Here's a question for you, and I want to get, because I know I'll get your objective opinion. I talked to a couple of people this week about it regarding my tier system. You take the toughest worlds you've ever seen, or the toughest worlds we can have today, realistically, and you put a 25, 30-man super heavyweight right arm class, and you put the present-day Devin Larratt in there, and I give you money to wage. Does he finish top 3? Does he win it outright?
He's out early. Confident? Hey, he's out early.
Yeah.
Hey, this guy's going to seminar halfway through the show. And listen, here's the fucked up part about it. He's hanging out in the hallway, and there's a shitload of people out there hanging with him and not even watching the end of the tournament. What a stud. But listen.
Oh, yeah.
And you know who's out there with him? Michael Todd's only 2 rounds after that. He's joining him. Right? It's crazy. And here's a I was thinking about that. Let's be completely honest about the tournaments that you're supposed to win to be the champ, right? Like, you're supposed to win the Arnold Classic, right? Devin has never won the Arnold, right? You're supposed to win the WAF World Championships. Devin's never won the World Championship. You're supposed to win the Zloty Tour if you're in America, if you want to talk shit, right? If you don't have the cup.
Oh, my God, we lost him right at the best moment.
Fuck.
Because he fucked with his phone.
Too bad. That was getting good. Is this?
Oh, man.
No, we're still good. We're still good.
Yeah, so now we're talking about the Zloty, right? Like, I can't talk shit about being the best guy in the world if I don't own that cup, right? Not only do I have that fucking Zloty cup, but I threw the motherfucker away because I don't give a fuck about that fucking thing, right? At all, right? Also, too, you got to have a WAL hammer, right? You got to have some hammers at your house or you're not the man, right? So when you add it all up, Devin and Michael have made a fucking living draining the shit out of people one-on-one and showing absolutely no fucking capacity for running through the traditional way that they're being like, if there's a Hall of Fame, there's no one-on-one people in the Hall of Fame. It doesn't exist.
Man.
Right? Every other Hall of Famer is not a one-on-one guy. We have created this situation, and now these two guys have benefited greatly from the damage that it takes to beat them multiple times.
Yeah, we are in complete agreement on that.
And it's okay, right? I don't think that, I think that somehow, like you saying this crazy shit about you can't make any money, the promoter's a dick face if he makes more than $100, right? That's a fucking crazy comment. And also, I think that it's a crazy comment if Devin and Michael don't want to acknowledge that you have taken a different route and you're just telling people that you're the best. And because they're too ignorant to really understand the situation, they just believe it, right? So I think as crazy it is for people to believe that promoters are going to do all this fucking work and not make any money, it's just as crazy to think that there's one style of arm wrestling for 100 million years, yet for the last year and a half, we're allowed to judge only from one-on-one competition in a very small body of work when the average man can't even compete for your title. It's pretty fucking crazy. And the only thing that's frightening is that there's not any events that those guys. These tournaments don't exist. So you can hide in this one-on-one competition realm, but still call yourself the best and get the biggest media and have the biggest draw. And it's really interesting what'll take place when someone comes up with a tournament series that you can win 20 grand. Because then there's going to be some guys, I know these WL guys, they're not going to be able to compete in it. And then there's going to be guys that actually show how versatile they are, with a group of 20 guys. So it's really crazy. Yeah.
And that's why I said that's what was great about John is people say, well, Devin's the greatest, John's the greatest. Now there's a debate. There was never a debate before. But man, John was a tournament arm wrestler. You were and are a tournament arm wrestler. Dave Patton, Cobra Rhodes were tournament arm wrestlers, right?
Well, and too, I think everyone too is still okay with being a one-on-one arm wrestler, but it has to be profitable. That's all. Yeah. A lot of people want to pull Devin right now, but they can't, right? Like Ryan, wouldn't you love if they put you up against Devin right now?
I would.
Right or left-handed, right? What a great situation, right? Because it's okay to lose the match. He's a fucking worthy opponent, but you can go into there thinking that you can win. And I mean, really thinking you can win and beating him not to me, but to a lot of people would make you the best, or at least let you argue about that, which is it's a really cool thing for Devin to have that platform, but also pretty shitty thing to know that you have the capacity to beat one of these guys, but you don't have the opportunity.
Yeah. Well, gents, the time's getting up there. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, I was expecting a little bit more heat, but he came up with some.
Well, you fucked me up. You fucked me up with your fucking idea right there. Like, how can I argue if you firmly believe that a guy's supposed to do all the work and only make $100? Then I'm going to lose though, because I mean, even if I told you I lost money, I made $1,500.
That's right. There's an impasse between you and me, but keep on trucking, dude. I mean, I got. World of capitalism. Go get what you need. I got no, do what you need to do.
Well, I will tell you this: we have not canceled any tournaments yet due to your harassment.
And why would you? Why would you?
I'm just saying. I mean, I know if the things worked out, you crumble this evil empire.
But if private message me privately later, and there's a fee you can pay me where I keep my mouth shut. Or I'll play the Travis game.
Devin. Yeah, Devin's you better watch yourself, man. You better watch yourself, right? because I already told Devin that I was going to come on and talk about his credibility. But that's all you have to do. If you want to talk about the champ, you got to ask permission first.
Yeah.
Right. Make sure you learn. All right. Well, you guys are awesome. So what's the deal? You got this thing recorded. You're going to send it to Artem or send it to me?
It's recorded. I'm going to put it on. I'm going to put a private link on YouTube so that Artem can download it.
I got you. Well, congratulations to Cody Merritt. All right.
Yeah.
He did what he did. He's a great guy. So, and also too, Ryan, you have no fucking chance of beating me at that date.
You know that.
Why? Because I'm going to be working every weekend, getting fucking cock diesel.
Nah. What the hell is that?
Fucking sauce.
What the hell is that thing?
Woo! I'm back on the sauce, baby.
Have you been swimming?
I'm a beast right now, man. My hand is strong.
Must have hired a gymnast.
Hey, that's another thing too. You wrote something about don't leave your wallet or your wife around me. Now, what the fuck did you mean by that? I hung around with your wife while you went to work that day. She was I was a perfect gentleman.
Yeah, you were. I trusted you.
Have you heard some things? Have you heard some things? What did you hear?
And not all my comments have validity. It's called trolling.
All right. So you're saying you could say something that that's really you have absolutely no proof of, and that you really could be like kind of a really serious thing, but you really like it wasn't that big a deal.
Well, no, I've heard things, rumors. I've gotten messages. I've gotten stuff like that.
Whoa! Can you verify? Can I see some of these messages? Who are they from?
Oh, they're from people around the world.
You know that I've been married for 20 years, right?
Yeah.
I've got 4 beautiful kids, right? Are you shitting me?
And I'm sure you've never ever looked astray or ever been tempted to another man on it.
I had one crazy homosexual experience in college. Besides that, I have been perfectly honest with her. Halfway about what happened that night with that guy. But I will come clean with her before I die. Don't you worry about it. I know where my life is. All
right, boys.
All right, you guys have a good one.
We got to go. I'll send it.
Hey, you're more right about the wife than the wallet.
All right, later, buddy.
Later, dude.